Salut tout le monde and welcome to this week's coffee time. It's finally April, can you believe it? It's like almost actually spring, or it should be spring, but it's just not. It's very gross outside today. Apparently Paris is always very not pretty during Easter time, because that would just be convenient. Anyway, I hope you've had a good week, but it's the weekend now, and it's Easter weekend, so that's very exciting if you celebrate, and it's Passover for those of you who celebrate that. So this April, being in Paris is actually pretty special for me. Sometime in April coming up, it'll be exactly 4 years since I came to Paris for the first time with my high school, so that's what I'm gonna talk about today. I hope you're ready for like lots of flashback of me being an awkward junior in high school. So I hope you're ready. I know I am. I've got some mint tea today, so that's fun, and this will become relevant very soon, but I have a big macaron. Look at that. Can't get those in America. And I also have Smurf gummies because these are fantastic. Okay, so let's get started. So at my high school, there were these extracurricular trips that were organized by this one really great language teacher, Mrs. Sosa. And so they happened during winter or spring break, and you sign up for them the year before, and then there's like lots of meetings to go to, but in the end you get to go for like 11 days to Europe, and it's really great. It was with a educational tour company called Explorica. And so I was lucky enough to go on 3 of these trips, my sophomore through senior years, and these were my first times ever being abroad. And they were really fantastic experiences and a great way for me to get to travel to places that like high schoolers can't really go to by themselves, especially, I don't know. It was just, and like I went with a bunch of friends each time, and it was really, they were fantastic experiences, and I'm so glad all the time for having had those opportunities. So the trip my junior year was during spring break, and it was to Paris, and I can remember when it was time to sign up for this, I was so excited because I had been taking French for like, like 4 years at that point, and I had never been to any place that spoke French, and so this was, and then it was going to be Paris and the chateaus of the Loire Valley, which is like, if you think of any of the famous French chateaus that you've seen pictures of, that they're in the Loire Valley. That's where we went. It was great. So I was super excited for this trip, like even more excited than I had been for the first one, which when we went to Spain and Portugal, because I didn't speak Spanish, and of course I didn't speak Portuguese, but it was really fun. But now I was going to actually go to a country where I spoke the language, which I had never done before, and that was super exciting to me. And it also turned out that a bunch of my friends were going to sign up for it, because the first trip I knew one person who was going. She was the only other sophomore, I think, on the trip, or almost, and we were kind of friends, but we became much better friends on the trip, and then I met other people that I didn't really know as well on the trip, but for France it was different. It was people I was already very good friends with, and so that was very exciting. So we started off in Paris, which was great, and I did so much tourist stuff, like more tourist stuff. We fit in more tourist stuff in probably those 4 days that I was in Paris with them than I think I've done this year. We went to the Louvre, we went on top of the Eiffel Tower, we went to Les Invalides, we went to Versailles, which I've been there since then, but I wasn't able to get to like Marie Antoinette's house, which is like way in the back of the park, like miles down. It's crazy, and I still need to do that. I'll be doing that this spring, and you guys will probably be coming with me. Since it was a high school trip, and it was kind of, it was through the school basically, we were not allowed to be alone at any point. We always had to have a buddy. We only had like 2 or 3 hours a day. So it's very different than my life here, where I don't have to tell basically anyone where I'm going at any time, and I'm just alone in the city a lot for like all day, basically. I've always been really grateful for those trips, and they're fantastic memories, and all the things we did are so awesome. Oh, it was just so great. When we got to Paris, I remember like being in Charles de Gaulle at like 7 in the morning after like a 6-hour flight from JFK or something like that. Like something crazy, and this is like my second or third time having jet lag, so, but it was still really cool because you could see, like, the signs were in French, and I could read them, because those are easy words. Like, I knew all those words, and, I remember seeing the ad, which the ad is still there. They still use this ad, but it's, there's this model, and she's got, like, the Eiffel Tower tied to her head with a tricolor ribbon, and it's an ad for the Galeries Lafayette, and I had seen this ad on maps that my French teacher had handed out so we could practice giving directions in French, and then I was actually seeing these in person, and it's still weird when I see these Galeries Lafayette. It's like I'm back in my 9th grade French classroom. Except I'm actually doing the things that we pretended to be doing, which is really bizarre and awesome, and it's great. Even though I had been studying French for 4 years, my French was not good. I was probably like A1 or A2, I don't even know, but, like, I don't even consider my French to have gotten good until, like, maybe 2 years ago. So this one memory that I have, this is actually where the giant macarons, which is almost gone, comes in, but so it was a group tour, so we had a big tour bus, which I still see those and I'm like, oh my god, are they high schoolers? Like, they probably think I'm a cool Parisian person, because I remember I would sit in those chairs and look out and be like, oh my god, look at all the cool French people, and they probably think I'm one of them now, which was really fun. And I think that whenever I'm in any city, basically, when a giant tour bus goes through me, when a giant tour bus goes past me. So anyway, we had one of these giant buses. We had one for each of our trips, because that's the best way to move high schoolers. Public transportation is not your friend when you're moving a group of high schoolers. It's just true. So we had one of these, and we were doing the tour of the Loire. We did like 2 days in Paris, and then we were doing like a week traveling around the Loire and up to Normandy and Brittany and places like that, and then we were gonna come back to Paris for like a day and a half, something like that, and then catch our flight back. So sometime in the middle of this, we had done like 2 chateaus already in the morning, and we had stopped for lunch in this town called Blois, which it's where Leonardo da Vinci died. He spent like the last few years of his life working for a French nobleman who had a chateau like right next to that, and so there's a chateau there, and I've actually studied a little bit about it in my medieval history class, which is really weird. But lunch was always on us. We got to go and find our own lunch place as long as we were with other people, and so we got to this one place right on the old, like, it was in the old town, and so we had lunch, and it was really good, and I remember like taking pictures of it because it was so pretty and good, and we had done okay with French. Like, we ordered in French. Like, food words kind of stick with you, I guess, or they might have even had English subtitles for the menu, I don't remember, but it came time to pay the bill, and there were 4 of us sitting there having lunch, and we realized that none of us could remember the word for bill in French. We kept thinking, oh, is it billet? Which is ticket, but it sounds close to bill, but we knew it wasn't the word for bill. And so I don't know how long we spent trying to think of this word, but it was at least 5 minutes, and we were like, oh my god, how can we not remember this? But we eventually didn't even remember it. I kind of waved the waiter down and did this in the air, and there's some fini, and he provided the word l'addition, and I have not forgotten it since. But anyway, after lunch we still had some time before we were supposed to meet up, and we had passed this patisserie, and we decided we definitely wanted to stop there because it was a French patisserie and it had the fantastic looking window, and so we went in. We got these giant macarons, and I had never seen any this big. I remember telling my parents they were the size of hamburgers. And this one I was proud of because I went in and like, I was kind of the designated French speaker of the group I ended up with. I went in and we were like, oh, we all want the macarons, and so I asked the lady, what flavors are they? And I remember she told me, and I was able to tell them, and it was great. It was really fun. And that was one of my, I felt, most successful French exchanges throughout the week. The story of why I have Smurf gummies is we were at the beaches of Normandy, and in Arromanches, and we had just done the Beaches of Normandy Museum, and there was like a corner store right across the street, and so we made sure to go over, because like anytime we could, we bought French candy, or just any type of European candy. But yeah, this is my advice. Write this down. For your first trip to Europe, or whenever you go to Europe, if you like candy, you have to buy European candy. Haribo and Bueno are the best, and you will not regret it. They have so much more interesting stuff than in the US, I promise. Kinder Eggs and Happy Hippos and just whatever Haribo looks the craziest to you. You won't regret it, I promise. So, and so this is what we were doing, basically, and we went over and they had Smurfs. And they also had these ones that looked like fried eggs. And I bought both of them because they were so ridiculous. You never see, like, Smurf things. They still have the Smurfs. You can get these all the time. It's great. And they're blue raspberry. I don't love that. But I was so impressed by these Smurfs that I took pictures of the candy, because I wanted to remember. But looking back, it's been 4 years, and now I've ended up in Paris, and I, like, actually can speak French. And that's amazing to me, just to be exactly 4 years after I came to Paris for the first time. And so many things have changed since then. I'm obviously a different person. I speak German as well, and I've traveled widely in Europe, totally by myself. I have flown to like 3 or 4 countries, and I spent 1 month by myself in a country that the language I did not speak at all. It's so different, and I've come so far. And like things that I thought were absolutely crazy, and so, I don't know, not exotic, but like novel. Something so novel as this, that I had to take pictures to show that it happened. And now it's like, just blasé. I see them like every day in my grocery store. They're on the checkout aisles. It's like, I don't buy Haribo that much, but I bought Haribo probably 4 or 5 times within those 11 days. I don't know. Now this is the normal candy for me. The contrast of how amazing everything was, and then it's normal now. Like, that's incredible for this 4-year anniversary. And finally, the contrast between I was in high school 4 years ago. I had only ever been to like 3 countries, and I had no idea. I thought I was gonna be... What did I even think I was going to be? I don't even know what I thought I was going to do then, but I know for sure that I didn't think I was going to study the Vikings, and I didn't think I was going to come to Paris for a year, and I definitely did not think I was going to speak German, because I didn't decide that until after high school. And I had never traveled alone before, and now I travel alone all the time, and I love it, and it's just... You can go so many places in 4 years. It's incredible. I remain ever grateful for those first trips to Europe with Sosa and Explorica and all the teachers and people of Connecticut. It was the best possible experience I could have had at that time. And so I just want to thank everyone who had anything to do with those trips, and they really make a difference. So thank you guys. And thanks to everyone for watching this. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on Monday. But if you miss me, don't forget that you can find me across the internet with the links below. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye!